I think the only time we've ever judged anybody that was hurt was, or maybe not as hurt as they said they were. We had a rookie. We had a rookie corner, I think, who was. I think we needed a good corner, and I think they invested in the corner. And I think he was like actually a pretty cool. I think people were starting to like him. We saw it. He sat out of a couple practices because of a muscle injury, and then he had to do his rookie performance that night, which is sing a song, and he ended it captivating. I mean, it was a fucking grand finale. He ended it with just doing a standing backflip, just popped right up into the sky, flipped, nailed it, and was like, "Oh shit, what a show!" And then everybody was like, "That's one of the most explosive moves you have to do, and why didn't you practice today? We're in the middle of training camp." And then that became the entire narrative almost about that guy. And once that narrative gets painted on you, I've never seen it before. That was a tough one to shake for him, I think, amongst coaches, players, everything like this. And trainers obviously don't love it because they're trying to get as much information as possible, and they're getting their asses chewed if players aren't back in practice soon enough. I mean, that was a wild time, but I think everybody gets it, AJ. I think everybody gets it.
Yeah, they do, but you do have to, like, I always wonder about people that are so comfortable sitting out practice, especially if they haven't like arrived, they're not a vet, and they're like, it's not feeling right, bud. And it's like their fourth day there, and you're in training camp, and they say their hammy doesn't feel right and they're fighting for a spot. I'm like, man, I don't know how you can feel so happy and comfortable when they're looking over and you see them on the side, like maybe riding the bike, throwing the ball around. And I'm like, I would just be a wreck. I wouldn't be able to just sit out and hang out like that.
Yeah, I wonder, like, how do you fall asleep at night? Because at night at those camps, if I have like a bad day in those training camp practices, I'm like, oh, they're going to cut me. Like, I'm going to get cut. Like, if I don't get my shit together, I know old buddy doesn't like me. Buddy doesn't like me. He would love to get me out of here. That would, like, worry me. And I think, much similar to you, I thought if I didn't practice, I couldn't go. And, like, I had to get my reps in. Like, I had to. There's some people that were able to sit out and just show up on game days. I don't think I was mentally tough enough to do that. I think I would have absolutely beat myself down going into games confidence-wise. But anytime I'd see a young guy who was like drafted maybe third, fourth round, fifth round, whatever the case is, but you're seeing they're getting a lot of opportunity and they want them to do well, and they're in a red shirt for whatever reason early in training camp, and they walked. They didn't get a golf cart. They actually walked from where the locker room is all the way to where the field is, which is a long-ass walk. My immediate thought was, so you can walk like 150 yards right now, and they're saying this is, and you can't practice, and then you see on the sideline, like you said, playing catch or like dancing around.
Like happy. Wouldn't you be nervous to be acting happy when you were sitting out of practice?
I was always like, how? That person's cut. They don't even know it. That person's never been cut before.
I respect it. I kind of respect being oblivious to it. Like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to enjoy my life. I'm like, geez, that's tough. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, you're right. I guess we do have to have some sort of respect for that because I don't know how you'd. Anytime somebody can do something that I'd never be able to do, I'm like, hey, fucking respect.
Do you think those guys eventually figure it out, or are those mostly the kind of guys who are just fizzling out?
Well, I believe the second one there is mostly because there are so many people, okay, that have come through NFL buildings who have the quickness, they have the toughness, they have everything, but for whatever reason, they just don't, get it. Just don't get it. Don't buy in. Don't completely buy in for some reason. And by the way, I was almost one of these people. Let's not get it twisted. I mean, I got arrested on a very chilly evening where there was sporadic rainfall. I still think there was a chance. But that kind of changed. It's just, I think there's some people that can and realize like, oh shit, I've been the star at every single team that I've ever played on my entire life. And now I am on the all-star of all-star teams through all the generations. And you're a backup or you have to play special teams or you get fucking cut whenever you think you can do stuff. I think there are some people that never... I think obviously the world is filled with, there's guys that just never get it. Like, hey, you were good, but everybody's fucking good. You got to go to that next step. You get it too
late. Some people get it too late, where all of a sudden they get cut and they realize, well, I may never play football again. And then it may click in and they try to train and get back into it, and it just never works out. Yeah, you just hope it's not too late before you do get it.
Yeah. All right, let's run through some. By the way, I hope everybody figures it out there.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Hope nobody ever does that again. I hope that never happens again.
That's right. Can't you get treatment during practice too? Like, why would you be standing on the sideline?
Yeah, treatment's stupid though, man. Treatment doesn't work. Like, I talk to the trainers in Green Bay all the time about this. Yes, of course, you're going to do everything you possibly can, but there's also a bunch of overkill where people act like they're working so hard when they're laying down asleep and they have a poor trainer rubbing a Graston metal stick on their leg at midnight on a Wednesday. Like that, you don't need to do that. Let those guys go home.
Okay. So that was something very personal to you. We just found out about. Okay.
I told guys all the time. These guys have
out.
families. Let them go home, man. Like you don't need to come back after you sat in the hot tub for an hour and a half after meetings. You went in the sauna, probably hit your vape pen, and then you're going to make these poor guys sit there and rub on you at 6:30 p.m. on a Thursday.
Now, I will say the athletic trainers and the physical therapists and the water boys on the internet memes, water boys and water girls on the internet memes, they are in that building from the earliest treatment time, which is normally if it's the quarterback or whatever, has to do it before his meetings. So you're in there 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. every single day. And then to AJ's point, let's say somebody gets caught up in a meeting or there's a press thing or a segment thing that has to happen. Then there's a hot tub and a shower that happens. Then they get in there after everybody's done. It's like, oh no, now there's another hour and a half session that's about to take place. Their lives and schedules are absolutely insane. And I think that's why, you know, a majority of the NFL knows that your team almost runs through those rooms. Like how the athletic training room is, how the environment, the culture, because there's a lot of people in there for a long, long time. And they always say you can't join the club in the tub or whatever, but everybody's getting some ailment fixed through an NFL season. And if you got great trainers that set a great vibe in there and people really can get after it, that's quite a weapon. But to your point, I never thought about that. Like, hey, you don't have to be here 14 fucking hours a day. If
just be considerate. Be considerate with your time. If you want to sit in the hot tub and be lazy and do all that and read Instagram and scroll through that, do that after you get your treatment, bud. You don't have to make those trainers wait around an extra 2 hours.
And by the way, pick the bottle up, squirt the fucking water in your mouth, okay? And then hand the bottle back.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're allowed to anymore. It feels like that's how often.
Oh no, I've seen guys do it. I forget who it was. I watched
Dak.
the trainer. Who was it?
Dak.
Yeah, the trainer went to squirt. He's like, nah, and he grabs it and uses it. I'm like, look at this guy. One of the best guys in the players in the world. He plays quarterback. Needs to use that arm.
And I almost tweeted immediately, like, the more I learn about Dak, the more I love Dak. Like that, just that one clip there of him grabbing it, and be like, yeah, I got it, and then just handing it back or whatever. I'm like, fuck.
Probably said thanks too. Everybody's like, hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but you know, the gloves, and then I think once some people see like two people get it done, then they're like, oh, this is just how it goes, and then
This is what we do, yeah.
Give me that fucking bottle. You know, the new clause in the COVID thing is that everybody can drink from everybody's bottles.
Yeah,
That's right.
You don't just have to have each individual bottle. That the athletic trainers had to go out.
Because there was.
They'd go out, wide, please open wider. Okay, okay, and then need another bottle. Here we go. I got your bottle. Do you want any? No, it's not your bottle. Okay, open wide.
Only
okay.
78 more to go.
Yeah, the NFL said you guys don't have to fucking do that anymore. Okay, we didn't think about that whenever we put the rule into place. We apologize.
Same with the gels too, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the other?
There was a hydration problem and a gel problem.
And a gel problem. Yeah, you're allowed to use the ultrasound gel on numerous players. Not everybody has to have their own gel. So if one person's gel is out, you can use somebody else's gel that is potentially in arm reach.
That's right.
That you weren't allowed to use in the past. Those trainers, that life in there is no fun. Now, listen, everybody has, not everybody, there are incredibly hard jobs out there, and I assume the medical staffs of NFL teams would never, ever complain about their job, ever, to anybody. They love football. They love the team they're all in. But there should be a little bit more respect, I think, on how miserable that has to fucking be. I mean,
They work with you. They're on your team. They don't work strictly for you.
yeah, kind of, give and take a little bit in that.
Just be a decent human. Be considerate.
Is that like a culture thing, or just like the captains of the team?
It's from being
kinda set
baby
the
growing
tone?
up. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that is. Oh, so you think this is an entire
Getting
issue.
away with it early on. If you feel like in middle school or high school you can do that and treat people that way, you're going to continue to do that. So it starts young.
So when I got to West Virginia, I'd never been around like a loop system or like, hey, this is where you turn us in, which I guess high school football has. I don't know if that's how some high school football. I didn't. I don't think. Diggs just said we didn't either, but I assume there's some places that have practice stuff. I'd never been a part of that before. I felt so weird. Like if I got one thing wrong, like where a sock accidentally wasn't all the way on and it maybe got in there, like I'm so sorry. Like I'm fucking this up for you guys. I literally, the work they put in, good peoples, man.